Hey everybody, and welcome to week 4 of American Literature. This week we are going to start The Call of the Wild, written by Jack London. I have Miss Betty here as a little guest star in my video, and you'll see why in just a minute. So Jack London here is our author. He was from San Francisco. Once before, he worked on a fishing boat for a very long time, and then he actually only had a middle school education. He dropped out of school in I think it was about 6th grade when he was 12 years old. And so he went to Alaska, the Yukon during the gold rush, early 1900s there, and he only actually stayed 2 years. I hope you all know that I stayed 4 years in Alaska. Yeah, I'm tougher than Jack London. You can quote me on that. So he came back and he worked on some more fishing boats again, got into this horrible shipwreck where everybody died on the boat except for him. He washed up on shore and managed to survive. And his mom told him that he should write about it, and he won this short story competition, and the rest is history. And he became a writer and wrote Call of the Wild and its sequel White Fang, as well as a bunch of short stories. Just to give you a little background on where Call of the Wild takes place, and one thing to note, Call of the Wild is actually about dogs and is told from a dog's perspective, told from the perspective of Buck, who is our main character. So it takes place on the Choo-Choo Trail, which this is a picture of it back during the gold rush. So the Canadian government wouldn't let people into the Choo-Choo Trail to look for gold unless they had at least a year's worth of supplies with them. So some people had to take up to 14 trips to get all the supplies up the hill and through this trail. By the way, this is spring on the trail. Doesn't it look so nice? Here's the other side of the trail. This is people actually coming down into, going up and into the settlement here. And then here is actually the Choo-Choo Pass and where the gold miners stayed during their time. It looks pleasant, doesn't it? And this was the only way to get in or out. Fun fact, some Alaskan cities, the only way to get there is by boat or by plane, such as Juneau, the capital. I've never actually been there. I lived mostly in Anchorage, and so you have to get there either by plane or by boat. It's not accessible by driving there. Here is a little map of where our book takes place. It's actually the Choo-Choo Trail. Here's Dia Beach, which you'll read about in chapter 2. Sorry, I'm really close because I'm trying to read the map. Dia Beach is right here. Here's Juneau, the capital. So it's right in between Alaska here and the Yukon area. Yes, I have actually been to the Yukon, to Whitehorse, which they'll talk about, and Dawson, driving in and out from Anchorage when I moved. So there's a little fun fact there. This week you'll be reading chapters 1 and 2 and actually making your own map. It can be a physical map like this one where you draw out where Buck goes in chapters 1 and 2 with textual evidence and you're explaining it and telling me what he learns at each location. Or it can be a symbolic map. I know some of you are like, ooh, I can't draw. That's totally fine. So you can just have a little picture, do one of those dotted lines like pirate map, where it swistles around and then it goes from location to location, and you can complete it that way. You can do a drawn one and take a picture and submit the picture, or you can use Word, or I put PictoChart up there for you to use. That's a really cool program if you've never used it before, and it's super easy to use. You just drag and drop things in. I'll also add a tutorial video on how to use PictoChart, so that can help you out as well. You are also taking a reading quiz over chapters 1 and 2 this week. And the class notebook also has the electronic version of the book, as well as a link to the audio on YouTube for chapters 1 and 2. So if you'd rather just listen to it, you can. The first 2 chapters are about 7 pages each. So not too bad, not too long. Hope you enjoy. This is a great book, and I love it. And here's Benny saying goodbye. Bye-bye. See y'all next week. Come to office hours, 6 to 7, even if you just want to chat for a minute. See ya.